Hi everyone, 3 Men and a Whisky, and it's Hell Weekend, or otherwise known as the weekend before Christmas. It's the weekend when everybody seems to lose their mind. The roads are full of people travelling somewhere, anywhere. It seems I never fully understood it, but everybody takes part, myself included, and I don't even know why. The shops are full of screaming children and their parents who are screaming even louder because everyone's desperately trying to check off the final items on their Christmas lists. The supermarkets are full of even more insane people. People who seem to think that an apocalypse is coming on December the 25th, and so they better stock up just in case. And if we're all being honest, it's been such a long run up to Christmas that by this point, we all just want it to be Christmas Day already. Can't it just be here? And in the spirit of the craziness of the weekend before Christmas, I thought I would watch a movie that truly encapsulates what Christmas has unfortunately become these days, which is all about the gift. It's all about pleasing the kid and making sure they get the must-have toy. Because if you're a 9-year-old child and you don't get the must-have toy of that year, well, then you're nobody. And if you're the parent that fails to get the must-have toy for the kid, well, get ready to be divorced by that kid because you have failed in every aspect of your duty as a parent. But what do you do if the must-have toy is sold out? What do you do if no shop has got any in stock? How do you cope? Who do you turn to? There's only one man. It's Arnie. He's an action star, and he's a great comedy star as well. And I've got such a soft spot for Arnold Schwarzenegger that I just had to watch Jingle All the Way, a movie about a dad who's maybe falling down in the dad stakes, but wants to prove himself to his son at the last minute by getting the must-have toy. I'm looking forward to watching this. Surprise, it's a film I've not seen for a while. It was 96 when this came out. I was a young whippersnapper when this came out. And it's, like I said, I have a soft spot. So, I like Arnie's comedy. I know that it's an acquired taste. Not everybody likes his comedy. But he came before Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a big muscle man who turned to comedy. And I think he did great work back in the day. Good old Arnie. And his twin brother, Danny DeVito, is not too bad at it all as well. So, and to pair with it, I thought, well, in the spirit of the must-have obsession that we all have at Christmas, I should look at the must-have whiskey. And there's only one distillery out there that truly encapsulates the must-have-ness of the industry, and that is Springbank. Except Springbank don't just do this at Christmas. They have 3 Christmases, or I think it's 3 Christmases every year. 3 times a year, maybe it's 2, I don't know. They all merge into one. But several times a year, they have a release of some whiskey. And everyone in the whiskey world loses their mind. We're calling up shops, every shop we know, to see if they've got any Springbank in. We're entering ballots left, right and centre. We're going on to multiple tastings just in the vain hope that there might be a Springbank bottle available to buy. I'm guilty of it. We've all been there. And if we're all being honest, it's just mad. It's absolutely mad. There's loads of whiskey out there. There's loads of great distilleries out there. Phenomenal distilleries. But there's something about Springbank, and there's something about having to have it that just keeps the whole thing ticking over. And 2023 was a real crazy year in the world of whiskey, particularly with Springbank, because in 2023, not only did the usual limited editions sell out, the really hard to get hold of bottles of Springbank with each release, but the core range sold out too. You couldn't get hold of a bottle of Springbank 10, Springbank 15, and if you could, they were being flipped on auction sites for twice the price. And it's like, it literally was like everyone had lost their mind over this particular distillery. It's calmed down a little bit since then. It's not quite as bad It does still, the limited edition bottles do still sell out, but thankfully the Springbank 10, the Springbank 15, you can normally still get hold of if you know where to look, without having to pay ludicrous prices on the secondary market. But I thought, in the spirit of the must-have obsession that is Christmas, I'd go with the must-have whiskey, which in this case I've gone for a Springbank 15. And not any Springbank 15, but the Springbank 15 I bought last year in 2023 during that madness when everyone had to have a bottle. I don't even know why I was obsessed with getting hold of this bottle, but apparently I was. To be fair, it's pretty phenomenal. Springbank do know what they're doing. They've been around a long time, so they're well worth it. But if I had to say it, I really do wish that they'd increase production, so we didn't have to go through this anymore. You know, I'm sure there's reasons, and I'm sure there's reasons that I couldn't possibly understand. But, you know, it would be nice, and then we wouldn't have to get into that crazy obsession. But hey, it's helped me out because it's meant that I can choose a whiskey to go with Jingle all the way. So I'm going to drink my lovely looking Springbank 15, and I know it's lovely because I've had this before. It's great. And yeah, I'm going to watch Arnie in his comedy prime. Catch you in a bit. All done with Jingle all the way. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Very silly, very over the top, very Arnie doing comedy, which I appreciate. Is probably not to everyone's taste, but I have a soft spot. I really do. I think he does slapstick and comedy and sends himself up really well, or he certainly did do back in the day. And yeah, and it's got a nice little story, a serious side to it about the craziness, just the simple insanity of Christmas, and you know why, you know, getting the perfect present, the perfect toy, the perfect, you know, must have isn't what it's all about, you know, or it shouldn't be what it's all about. But obviously that message is hidden away. It's hidden away quite heavily amongst the slapstick and the silliness. But that's fine. That's fine. It is very 90s. It absolutely reeks of the 1990s. A lot of the scrapes and problems that he gets into, that Arnie's character gets into throughout the movie, could probably be resolved with a simple mobile phone call. But, you know, it's 1996, and a lot of people didn't have them back then. So, you know, but that actually is one of the reasons why I like those older movies, because it makes for a bit more fun. And Jake Lloyd, yet another example of an actor before they were famous, or before they did the thing that made them really famous. In there, Jake Lloyd playing the little kid, playing Arnie's son, baby Anakin. Who knew? I did not know. I'm sure lots of other people did. But yeah, Jake Lloyd in what I'm assuming is one of his first big roles pre-Star Wars. Although I guess we now fully understand why Anakin turned to the dark side. It was because he didn't get the toy that he was promised at Christmas. At least I like to think that, because the actual reasoning given by George Lucas in those prequels was rubbish. So, you know, I'll go with that. But hey, each to their own. What will I give it? What would I give this very 1990s, very silly movie? I think it's probably an 8. A kind 8. It might be a bit lower, I think, if I'm really thick. But I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it 8 beta milking because I did genuinely enjoy myself. I was laughing. I did have a smile on my face. And, you know, that's all you can ask for with a Christmas movie, really. So it was good fun. It was good fun. I'm not entirely sure it's going to have legs, although I guess it is already, you know, over 20 years old, so, or 25 years old, so maybe it does have legs. I don't know. The Whisky Springbank. I like to say the Mickey out of Springbank quite a lot, just simply because, you know, they're one of those at the top of the tree. So, you know, you've got to throw stones at them occasionally just for a bit of fun. I love Springbank. I absolutely do. They're one of my faves. I do find the craziness around how hard it is to get hold of bottles not frustrating. I just find it mad more than anything else. But the fact is when you can get your hands on a bottle, and I always try and keep a 10 and a 15 on my shelf if I can. Let's forget about the limited editions for a second. The spirit's fantastic, right? They make a phenomenal whiskey, and that's one of the reasons why they are so sought after. That and the fact that they just don't produce enough. Which is a problem that a lot of distilleries have, to be fair. It's just with Springbank, it is very heightened. But it's a good dram. I do like the 15. I prefer the 15 to the 10. Certainly, it's a lot, for me, it's a lot more complex. Great hints of smoke without it being overly smoky and overpowering. Some good kind of leathery notes in there as well. A lot of fruitiness, kind of sherried fruitiness, but also slightly more citrusy, more exotic stuff in there, which is really, really great from my perspective. And on the palate, I mentioned that kind of leathery taste, a bit of that smokiness again. Still pretty smooth and creamy though, I found, which is what I mean about complexity. It's got everything you would ask for in a dram, really. Finish was good. There was a nice little spiciness there. Tiny bit of spirit burn, but nothing too overpowering or bad. And again, this is what you come to expect from a Springbank and from something that's 15 years old. You expect really, really good quality. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think that's really, really worthy. It's a great dram. Some of the limited editions I've had over the last couple of years, your local barley, the Palacatado one that they did, was it last year or the year before? They were next level, which is the reason why I'm not going to give this Springbank 15 a 10 out of 10. It's a 9 for me because I know Springbank have done better, but it's still a phenomenal dram, a phenomenal score. And look, when the next sale comes up, you will be able to buy a bottle of the Springbank 15. They don't, they do sell out, but they don't sell out within 3 seconds, like a lot of the other stuff. So, pick up a bottle if you can. I'd highly recommend it. All right, I'm going to leave it there. After this, we're into the final 3 days. I have a trilogy of films, not related, but a trilogy of films that I'm going to watch. It was always going to be my last 3 films that I watched for this. I had that planned from the very beginning. I'm going to jump into that very, very soon. So, have a good one. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. And I will see you on the next one. Cheers.